How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Tier Talk, and today I'm going to discuss some steps that will help you avoid being manipulated by inmates. It's called C.H.U.M.P, C.H.U.M.P.S. And I got this idea from Gary Cornelius. He wrote the book Art of the Con. And I'm going to break down what CHUMPS means and how this can help us when dealing with inmates trying to manipulate us and trying to get us to lose our sense of control and giving that control to them. So again, guys, the show Tier Talks for you, brave men and women that work that front line. So please, if you haven't subscribed, interact, engage, comment, share, and hit that bell. The bell's going to notify you every time I post up a video. I stand by for our sponsors.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Being a corrections officer takes its toll on even the strongest individuals. The constant need to perform at the highest level, putting your life at risk in a hostile environment, and the mental scarring of traumatic experiences. 31% of corrections officers show symptoms of PTSD, and 66% of people with PTSD also suffer with a substance abuse problem. The Transformations First Responders program is specially designed to help veterans and officers heal from the grips of addiction and PTSD in a comfortable, supportive, and serene setting. You are not alone. If you have questions about the services we offer, give us a call at 866-762-8454 to get more information on this affordable and life-changing program.
Thank you guys for listening to our sponsors. I'm gonna, again, keep this brief. These are some good tips to avoid manipulation. I got this from Gary Cornelius' book, Art of the Con. You should check it out. It's a great book. And it's called CHUMPS, C-H-U-M-P-S. So first, before we break down each letter, let's see what each letter means. So the C for CHUMP stands for controlling yourself and not being complacent. Complacent is a very deadly enemy in corrections. H, helping offenders to help themselves. U, understanding the offender's subculture and understanding yourself. M, maintaining a safe distance. P, practicing professionalism and adhering to policies and procedures. And S, stopping yourself from being stressed out so you are not so vulnerable. And for management, that's danger. Because right now we're understaffed and we are running on skeleton crews, and our front line, they're burnt out. And we have to do our best to do what we can to alleviate that stress, that burnout. Because just like S says, stop yourself from being stressed out so you're not so vulnerable. Being burnt out, being stressed out can make staff vulnerable. All right, so let's just go over real quickly what I mean with each letter. So C was for control. So, control, what do I mean by control? Say no firmly. No's a no. You don't have to justify the no. A no's a no. Broken record technique is fine. I'm sure we all know what the broken record technique is, right? We keep on repeating the same answer. But sir, no. But sir, no. Why? No, because I said no. That's the broken record technique. It's very hard for an inmate to manipulate through that. They like to see our justifications and try to manipulate the justification. So that broken record technique, pretty much, it works. It seals the deal. Challenge excuses from the inmates. Know who's in your area and who should be. Be curious. Do not get overwhelmed. Be thorough and consistent with procedures. Remember, you are a supervisor. No matter what, if you're the front line, sergeant, lieutenant, however your rank structure works, even the frontline officer is a supervisor. You're supervising the inmates. Play the role. Show that you have control. Stick by your decisions. get the inmate to stick right to the point. I'm sure you guys agree with that. Sometimes inmates like to ramble. What's your point? What are you trying to get at? Let's go. Tell me. Maintain good, solid eye contact. Follow chain of command. Be decisive. And remember, you're constantly being observed. I think this is great for control. Guys, if you feel you can add anything, please do. Or also, as you see, I mentioned a couple of things. If you want to elaborate, feel free to elaborate. I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of these little tips. Now, when it comes to helping, require that inmates follow the supervisory chain. And that's not just for frontline. That's also for supervisors, too. An inmate comes up to you. They know the chain of command. Make sure that they went to an officer first. Don't let them go directly to you. That's not how this system works. It's a paramilitary structure. Discourage shopping for staff. We all know inmates do that. They look for the one that they feel is most vulnerable. So we want to discourage that. We want to show that we're united. We want to show no signs of weakness. Require that inmates follow the rules and regulations and encourage inmates to use the programs that are available. That's a great way to help inmates, right? Think about that. Require that the inmates follow the supervisory chain. That means they go through you if a problem has to be settled if you're frontline. Discourage them shopping for staff. You don't get to pick who you want to go to. Oh, this person said no, so now I'm going to go to this person. It doesn't work that way. This is the first and last stop. I am the first and last stop. Require the inmates follow the rules and regulations. They want me to help you? These are the rules and regulations, and you probably know the rules and regulations. But if you want the officer to help you, that's the rules and regulations. Everything is there. So I can help you with understanding those rules and regulations if need be. And encourage inmates to use the programs that are available. And that's what we do all the time. We got programs. So if you want to, you can take these programs, and here's how you can go about taking those programs. When it comes to understanding, it always says be well read in current literature and studies about offenders. I always do. Because you know that they're reading stuff, so we have to be up on our game as well. Learn from veteran staff the importance of seniority, and we're losing that. We're losing that. So take advantage of it. Hopefully we're able to rectify this situation, but in the meantime, experienced staff, they know the way. So listen to them. Don't blame yourself for an inmate's plight, because that will draw sympathy. Attend training. Know what's going on in your facility. Observe inmates, because they're observing you. And self-inventory yourself for your weaknesses. And I always say that, guys. You want to protect yourself from manipulation. The best way to do that is know where you're vulnerable. Know where you are vulnerable. Admit that you are vulnerable. For the M, this is what maintaining that distance between you and inmates. Do not use first names. I agree with that 100%. This is a professional atmosphere. You're either going to call me Officer Gangi, Mr. Gangi, whatever the case may be, but you're not going to call me Anthony. Also, I'm not going to call the inmates by their first names either. I'm going to call them Mr. Such and Such, inmate such and such, whatever the case may be, but we're not on a first name basis. Do not accept phone calls. Do not visit or socialize with inmates, families, and or friends. It's all about maintaining that distance. Do not buy gifts for inmates. Do not be swayed or influenced. No discussing your personal business with inmates. We know that, because that personal business will be used to exploit you. Shut down inferences to sex or flirtation. And guys, all the things we're covering, I've done videos on this. When an inmate comes up and says something flirtatious, you got to shut it down immediately and let them know that you yourself will not tolerate that. The justification for not tolerating that has to be internal. It has to be because you don't want it. Not because it's the policy and procedures, because inmates will twist that. It's because you will not tolerate that. And remember what your job and role is as a correctional officer or a professional correctional staff member. That's the M. Now we get to being a professional. Know and follow your code of conduct. Be neat and well-groomed. Be neat and well-organized. Come across as self-assured. Do not spread rumors. Act like a professional at all times. Do not complain about anything relating to the job or how unfair the inmate's situation is. Be clear when communicating. Keep the lines of communication open with other staff members. And I talk about the importance of us being connected all the time. Inmates need to see that. Avoid the we, they, or us versus them type games. And I've talked about that. Divide and conquer video. Check it out. There are no secrets between you and an inmate. Make use of the written word. Document, document, document. Report all infractions. Do not put yourself in a place so you feel obligated to an inmate. And I discuss that all the time. I actually just did a video about that in regards to dealing with inmate informants, confidential informants. Do your job to the best of your ability. Ask questions. But remember, you're asking questions to your peer support, not to inmates. And use professional lines of communication to find out things about an inmate. And I agree with that. Not the rumor mill. Go to professional sources. And now we get to the S. The stress and the burnout. Be self-critical about yourself. Know what you can and can't do. Do not burn out. Be aware of how being stressed out can make you vulnerable. Rely on family, friends, counselors, or supervisors for support. Be aware of stress support programs. Ask for time off if stress is getting to you. Do not be afraid to ask for new job transfer. And just take charge of your life. These are great tips. Guys, please comment. Let's elaborate on some of these. How did one of these points hit home with you? I would love to hear it. As always, the show is Tier Talk, guys. The show is for you, brave men and women that work behind the wall. So please, if you haven't, subscribe, interact, engage, comment, share, do all that stuff. And as always, guys, stay safe. Oh, don't forget, hit that bell. Hit that bell, because that bell is going to notify you every time I post a video. Love you guys. Stay safe.